Welcome back to the Ed Show. President Obama may have given Mitt Romney a political opportunity on same-sex marriage, but Romney, he just doesn't know what to do with it. Romney is all over the place. He doesn't even think his party should be fundraising on the issue. Here's more.
I hope the issue, as tender and sensitive as the marriage issue is not a source of fundraising for either of us. There could be domestic partnership benefits, for instance, where one state might decide to provide hospital visitation rights. Another state might decide to provide that as well as benefits of other kinds. I also know many gay couples are able to adopt children. That's fine. But my preference is that we encourage the marriage of a man and a woman and that we continue to define marriage as a relationship between a man and a woman.
The truth is, Romney doesn't want to talk about it at all. Earlier today, when he was asked about a few social issues earlier, including gay marriage, he said this.
Aren't there issues of significance that you'd like to talk about?
The
growth of jobs, the need to put people back to work.
Here's what he said right after that interview was over.
I'm not running on marriage and marijuana. Those are state issues, right?
Thank you.
Are they really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they could be federal issues.
Romney says they're state issues, but he supports a constitutional amendment banning all states from allowing same-sex marriage. He's not making any sense, is he? Today, Romney's own advisor, Ed Gillespie, said Romney will campaign on this issue because it's another bright line difference with President Obama, but Mitt Romney does not appear too eager to campaign on it. Let's turn to Mr. Charles Blow, columnist for the New York Times, and Mike Rogers, managing editor of rawstory.com. Gentlemen, good to have you with us tonight. Charles, he's all over the map. This week it's like a train wreck. How does he recover if he does?
I don't know if you can recover. And what the problem with Mitt Romney is he keeps coming down on the wrong side of the fairness issue, whether it's policy, whether it's the gay marriage issue. The issue of basic fairness in this society, where do you stand and how does that contrast with the president? He's really on the wrong side of that. And what he keeps allowing to have happen is he keeps losing the weak to these issues, and whether that is, last week or the week before with student loans, or then the president coming out and really pushing on that issue, or the president coming out and making this statement, this issue, and him kind of flip-flopping, wobbling, not knowing how to discuss it. And then with the discussion about him and bullying when he was in high school, the White House couldn't have planned this better to have the president say what he said and then have that story come out. Not that should, what happens in high school should follow you forever, but Mitt Romney, again, on the fairness question, could not, as an adult, say, I believe that bullying and taking advantage of someone who is weaker than you or who is different than you is wrong, and I see how that has negative repercussions in society. That's the fairness issue.
Mike Rogers, it seems like Mitt Romney, once again, is taking numerous positions here. This is not the man who ran for that Senate seat back in the 90s in Massachusetts. What do you make all of this?
Well, of course, in 1994, Mitt Romney said he was better on LGBT rights than Ted Kennedy. So it's quite astonishing. I don't know if that's a flip-flop. What's beyond a flip-flop? And I think that with someone like him, that whole Etch-a-Sketch candidate thing, there's never anything that is from a place of, the past where he's coming into the future. It's just this whole throwback thing that they're continuing to promote.
Well, if it affects people's lives, then it's worth campaigning on. Here's part of a web ad from the Obama campaign, which was released today. Here it is.
Same-sex couples should be able to get married.
I indicated my view, which is I do not favor marriage between people of the same gender, and I don't favor civil unions if they're identical to marriage other than by name.
Charles, you talked about timing. You talked about organizing and how this all comes out. I mean, it's very clear that the Obama campaign is fully prepared to say that we're for equality, and they're not.
Right, and what a lot of people talked about yesterday was whether or not this was a risky thing for the president. You can see from this ad that the White House is not thinking of it as a risky thing. They're saying, we are going to embrace this concept, and we're going to run with it, and we're going to see how that shakes out in the end. And I think that in the end, because of the enthusiasm he gets from his base, and because I think that in general, even some people who say, go to the polls and say, if you force me to make a decision, I will choose a decision based on religion, in the broader scheme of things, do agree with the basic concept of fairness and also agree and support people who go with conviction. Yeah. And that is what Obama has that Mitt Romney does not at this point.
And Mike, is President Obama, is this going to be viewed as a very genuine move, or is this a political move, or just a move with political ramifications? How do you see it?
Well, in America today, of course, everybody says every single thing is political. And I agree with Charles. I think at the end of the day, America will step up and say, this is the right thing to do. At the same time, I think it was an amazing mix of, what one friend called the perfect storm. You had the vice president on Sunday. You've had all the work of the community. You had the North Carolina vote that certainly the president was going to be pressured to address. And he could have punted. He could have done something else. He could have attracted news another way. Yet he took the risk. And clearly it was, something they knew they were going to do. They had ads at the ready. They're really behind this. And I think that I think it's incredibly genuine.
And
I
Mike,
really do.
Ed Gillespie says that they will campaign on a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage. Here we go, 2004 all over again.
Ed, bring it on, because 8 years ago was a different time in America, and young people in the Republican Party, young Republicans, say, this is crazy. We don't want to hear our friends being beat up, our college buddies, our friends in their 20s. This is a new day and age, and I want Mitt Romney out there. I want him out there beating up gay people, because you know what? It's not 2004. It's about being honest and forthright. And in just those 8 years, we have seen America go from being vast majority against marriage equality, and now they're for it.
So, Charles, does Mitt Romney get off this subject as quickly as possible?
If I were the Romney campaign, I would get off this quickly as possible. This is a losing issue for anyone. People do not like to see the little guy getting beat up. We do not like to see minority populations in the country getting beat up, and this is a loser.
Charles Blow, Mike Rogers, great to have you with us tonight. Thank you. Mitt Romney's taking credit for the automobile industry's success. Next, we've got the president's reaction. Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post will join us. The war on the poor has gotten more vicious than ever, thanks to John Boehner, Paul Ryan, and House Republicans. E.J. Dionne will break it down. Stay with us.